Welcome back. It goes without saying, Boyd Huppert has heard thousands of stories in his land of 10,000 stories, but one you're about to hear leaves even Boyd astounded. A story of survival after a 9-year-old takes an arrow to the head.
After 2 goals, we switch.
If you're inclined to believe in miracles,
Go, Gus, get it!
come inside. The Dieterding family appears to have scored one.
Let's go!
That's Sylvia and Hank at center ice. And at goalie, that's Gus, who was on the family's icy driveway back in March before the concrete was poured, loading some things in his dad's truck, including this youth bow and arrow.
I think he was carrying everything at once, and the arrow we think was like right here, and he then fell right on it.
Parents, Abby and Dave.
I was vacuuming downstairs. Dave was getting dressed, and he came in, in a panic, like, whoa, lots of blood.
He had a very small, cut on his head.
Cleaned up, this is the cut.
At home, he kept saying, Mom, am I dying? Am I gonna leave you? I don't wanna leave you yet. And we're like, Gus, no, we're just getting stitches.
They drove to the Alexandria Hospital, where a cautious doctor sent Gus by helicopter to Minneapolis and Children's Minnesota. No one yet knowing how far the arrow had gone.
That's the path the arrow took, and a little bit of hemorrhage along the way.
See that white dot at the top of Gus's head scan? It's a piece of bone carried by the arrow to where it stopped, before Gus, on his own, pulled the arrow back out.
And that scan, I was like, it literally took my breath away, and I felt like sick to my stomach. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, no, that far, what?
Yet there was Gus in a hospital bed at Children's Minnesota, seemingly fine. So fine, doctors at Children's initially sent him back home. These scans weren't taken until his parents brought him back after Gus started vomiting, and doctors finally saw what they couldn't fathom.
He looked too normal.
Ken Maslanka is the doc who heads Children's Pediatric Intensive Care Unit.
I would say in the 28 years I've been at Children's of Minnesota, I've never seen anything like this.
Again, the arrow went through the middle of Gus's brain.
All the sensory and motor function is all coming through here. It came within 2 centimeters of exiting the skull.
Dr. Maslanka made a model showing the arrow's trajectory.
So the carotid artery is right here. Had it hit that would have been death within minutes.
If he'd seen this model without first knowing the outcome,
I would say that this poor, unfortunate 9-year-old young man didn't survive this, based on what I see here.
Yeah, this one was really cool, right?
yet there's Gus
I hope you feel better.
rereading the get well cards from his school.
The best hockey player I know.
It's either fortune at a minimum, or it's heavenly presence of God controlling the direction of that arrow.
Yeah.
For Gus's parents, no question which.
We know it didn't just happen.
This is a miracle.
Yeah.
Family photos of Gus doing normal kid things, all taken since March when he pulled an arrow out of his brain. And the double Gus hit, his first time at bat after returning to his baseball team.
He is as normal as he was beforehand.
If you are inclined to believe in miracles, seldom will you see one clearer.
It is a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Gus spent 6 days at Children's Minnesota. A few weeks later, he was cleared to return to normal activities, as you saw there. His parents have not pressed Gus to talk about the accident. He seems to prefer not to. Can't blame you, buddy. Well, a look from Duluth today, where the Festival of Sail Lake Superior is returning this week. Along with the tall ships that will be taking part, the festival also features some of the world's best high divers showing off their free fall skills. No thank you. The preparations are nearly complete for those athletes to take the plunge in the first ever Lake Superior High Dive Challenge. Jeffrey McClure reports.
3, 2, 1,
Well, we're doing something that's very unusual. We're an unusual sport, high diving, and we've used all kinds of different towers.
Minnesotan Dana Kunze has spent his entire life jumping into water. For the past 4 decades, he's also constructed some of the most elaborate diving boards, including the newest addition to Duluth.
We've got to clear some apparatus that's right bumped up against the dock wall here. We've created an overhang that's going to go up on the top of this scaffold.
The 8-time world high diving champion spent the entire day, along with USA Diving, constructing the more than 65-foot tower on the seawall, one scaffold at a time.
So we had to work out how to keep it really slim, and Dana came up with the idea of the guy wires, which are keeping it stable. So it's actually really strong up there.
You need a solid surface, you know, to start off with. You need a place to guy it to hold it up soundly. You know, you've got to have great divers that aren't scared to go up and dive off of it.
And they definitely have the divers, namely Owen Weymouth, who has been planning the event for nearly a year and was honored to be the first to make the jump.
He actually hit the water very fast from this height, about 46 miles per hour.
A challenge so great, even the world record holder can see how crazy it looks.
There he goes. Good jump. He's in good shape. He knows where it is.
One of the guys that's coming out here is going to be doing like 5 or 6 somersaults. I mean, it's crazy what these kids are doing now. So they look at my world record and go, "You're crazy," and I look at them spinning and twisting and flipping like that, and I go, "You're crazy."
Oh, goodness gracious. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.